Okay. I have water here because the first thing you will notice, and yeah, I sound weird. The first thing you will really notice when you talk is your mouth is going to get so dry. It feels like your tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth. And it is annoying. So, we have water. Also, I did this myself as well. And I have plenty of these lying around the Libre. I mean, I have a few of them in my ear on each side. And I have barbells too, or whatever they're called, or the horseshoes for my ears, but this looks more professional and still keeps my ears gauged. As you can tell, talking once you get used to it is okay. It's pretty easy, but that when you press your tongue to the bottom of your mouth, like that, it makes it stick up. And if your mouth is small like mine, the top ball will roll across the roof of your mouth. And that's what keeps you from talking properly. It kind of... It keeps you from being able to move your tongue where it needs to be by touching both areas at the same time. I don't have very much makeup on. I'm not going to do a tutorial today just because I'm too tired. I have been cooking and baking, and I have a kitchen, a bedroom, and a bathroom to clean today. And my boyfriend's supposed to come over, so yeah, that should be fun. I'm still waiting on my tax returns, which is what I'm going to buy the small ball or the small bar with, because that's just way too long. It is getting on my nerves. Like, it's painless. I can sit here and play with it all day long. It's not gonna hurt. As a matter of fact, I just got done eating a salad, and the only thing that really bugged me was the fact that the amount of salt in the ranch dressing was way more than I thought. And so the initial first bite, since I'm not used to a high amount of salt in my diet, really burned the top of it a little bit. But it wasn't anything I couldn't tolerate. It was just like, oh wow, okay. And I took a sip of water, and after that it was fine. And you probably hear metal hitting metal when I talk, and that's because I have a permanent retainer, which is metal. So it's not actually, the ball isn't even hitting my teeth. It's hitting the, well, occasionally, but it's mainly hitting the retainer. And that sound, I don't know if you heard it, is my daughter. She is being ridiculous. Yeah, I pierced it, and I bought a kit off of Amazon, and I plan on making a video with the kit that I have, and about how I did it and everything. But I've seen a lot of videos online where people are going from bottom to top, and I can only imagine that's really painful, like, because it's so tender down there. And, I mean, I guess you know better where your veins are if you do it that way, but I wouldn't do it. Like, no. But what I did, oh, what a sound, is I looked at my tongue, and I found my veins, which are right here. And, after I knew where they were, I knew where the needle could not go, so I knew it had to go between both of them. Now, when I was 9, I had my tongue clipped. What I mean by that is that I was unable to stick my tongue past the back of my teeth like this. That's as far as I can stick my tongue out. Now I have full range. So what they did was they cut where the webbing was and moved it. So I don't know if you can see this line, but my webbing goes all the way to where the bar is at. Like the initial webbing that I did have. And now it's back there. However, because the webbing was all the way to the end of my tongue, that means that there is scar tissue. It's hard tissue. It's very fibrous. And it's not forgiving when you stab it. So, I had to go in front of that. So, again, like I said, my webbing, my initial webbing that I had stops right at the end, or stops right where my bar is. Right there. So once I knew where that was, I put the clamp on, looked at the top of my tongue, figured out where my needle needed to go. I didn't mark anything, but I did dry my tongue off. Excuse me. Put the clamp on. Figured out, you know, where on the inside, like on the opening of the clamp, like center, side, whatever, where I was going to, or front or back or whatever, where I was going to stick the needle. And the first time I did it, I went halfway through and I chickened out. And I was like, alright, you know what? The tongue is like the quickest healing muscle in your body. Give it a couple of hours. We're going to do this. We are going to do it today. And that's what I did. I gave it a couple of hours. I went back in there. And I stiffened up and I took a deep breath and went on and did it. And I've had it for a week now. Now this is not the first time that I've had my tongue pierced. This is actually the second time. And I went to a professional piercer to get it done the first time, and they put the bar and everything about there, and my tongue my tongue swelled up really bad. I talked for the first day, but as far as the next few days, you can pretty much forget it. I did, but it was a lot more painful. It was a lot harder then to swallow the medication to take the pain down. And it was a lot harder to eat when I first got it done. But this time, it's a little it's a little bit swollen right now just because I've been aggravating it. I've been talking a lot today. And I've been eating things like I ate a salad and the lettuce kind of got wrapped around it, but you know, it doesn't hurt. It's just a little bit swollen, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was the very first time that I got my tongue pierced. And I've been getting a lot of hate on Facebook from people saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you're not certified, you're not a professional, you know, you could have permanent nerve damage and all kinds of stuff. And the truth of the matter is, I knew what I was doing, whether I'm certified or not. I knew that if I hit a vein, I was going to bleed. I knew that if I hit the webbing, I was going to end up struggling and get the needle through. And I was going to be in a lot of pain. I knew that if I didn't do it correctly, that I would have nerve damage. However, that is not the case. I don't have nerve damage. I haven't ruined my tongue. Everything's all good. Like, there was minimal swelling. There was no infections. I was able to talk the third day without much irritation at all, and by the fifth day, I had virtually no pain. You know, it's funny to me how everybody can tell me, oh, you don't know what you're doing, and tell me that I'm going to jack it up, and that, you know, I'm going to regret it or whatever, but, or that I should go to a professional, but the professional is the one that jacked me up the first time. Like, the swelling, sorry about that, the swelling that I had from the first time was absolutely, like, ridiculous. I was, like, that far from it being the entire bar. And, I couldn't eat anything. Like, I was basically on an all-liquid diet, with the exception of, like, mashed potatoes. I think that was the one thing that I could actually eat. Like, even, we didn't have any Jell-O, so I didn't try it. But, like, soft foods and, like rice or broth, because they say you can't eat anything hot. So, like, I'm sitting there making ramen noodles. I didn't eat the ramen noodles, but I'm trying to drink the broth. I couldn't do that either. And I couldn't take my pain medication. You know, it was like halfway choking on it. Wasn't cool. This time around, I was able to take ibuprofen without any problems. The third day, I was able to eat solid food. Like, right now, I still can't eat chips. But I think that might change once I get the small bar. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. But, I can't eat chips right now just because it's weird. I don't know. It's weird to describe it. I can eat cookies just fine. I can eat, you know, cake. I can eat a salad just fine. I can eat, I actually chewed a piece of chewing gum for the first time today, and it didn't hurt, and it didn't get wrapped around or, you know, like stuck to it or anything. Like, this experience, even though I did it myself, and I took a nap that day, and I woke up, and I was like, what the hell is in my mouth? Because it had completely escaped my mind that I was able to do that to myself. And I haven't regretted it since I did it, but at the same time, like, it is mind-blowing that this is a far better experience than the first one that I had. And, it's really cool. Now the swelling went down just about completely after the 5th day. But like I said, after the 3rd day, I could eat solid food. Like, I was eating the Chips Ahoy chewy chewy cookies. But I couldn't, like I said, I still can't eat chips. I was able to eat, no, I take it back, it was the 2nd day. I was able to eat a cheeseburger from McDonald's. Same thing, you know, 3rd, 4th day, I was able to eat it. French fries were a little bit more complicated, but I was able to eat them. My daughter wanted them more than I did anyway, so that's fine. And by the 4th day, I was able to drink through a straw without any problems. So yeah, I mean, it's really been better all around for me. Now, this is my personal experience. Do I recommend somebody doing it to themselves? No. Because everybody is different. You really, really, really have to be certain. You have to know your body. And you have to know what you're doing. You have to get your mindset that if you're going to do this, that you're going to do it. You know, it can't be, okay, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. And then you try, and then you realize, oh, that hurts, and so you stop. And then, you know, you never want to get a piercing, whether it's professional or yourself, ever again. So you need to make up your mind first. I knew that I wanted my tongue pierced. I knew that I was capable and able of doing it myself. I knew that I could mentally do it. But I didn't know what my pain threshold was for myself at that point until I tried it the first time. And I figured, you know what, it's worth it. You know, I got halfway through it. Let's go the whole way. Because, I mean, and if you pierce your tongue, don't be scared. There can sometimes be a lot of blood. I drooled all over the place, and I had blood and drool coming through the needle, and it was just, it was a mess. I was over the sink the whole time. But now my lip actually hurt a lot worse than my tongue did. And it's, if you decide to pierce yourself, you need to know that it is very different to go to a parlor, like a tattoo parlor, and have someone doing it, and all you feel is the pain of getting it done, as opposed to feeling your hand pushing a needle through your skin, and the pressure and the resistance, the fact that you're tearing tissue by piercing it. You have to get past that. You have to mentally get past that if you want to pierce yourself. I do not recommend it, especially your tongue or your lip. There are arteries and veins going all around here to your jaw. And if you hit one of those, you can bleed a lot. Or to death. Well, I don't think you can bleed to death. I don't know. But, because they say you can bleed to death if you hit an artery. But I don't know if you can bleed to death from an artery that small. Like, I don't know. But, if you go to YouTube and you type in venom, I think it's called venom piercing, where they pierce your tongue on each side. The videos that I saw had a lot of blood, and that's because you're right on top of a vein, like. Your veins are right there, like, you know, and if you happen to get just that close to it, You know, it's one, it's gonna hurt, two, it's gonna bleed. You need to expect that. You know, it's not easy. If you have a low pain threshold, I would suggest not even getting a piercing at all, other than your ears, because like your eyebrow, your nose, your tongue, a nipple piercing of any kind, man or woman, nape of the neck piercing, dimple piercing, and I think that's about it that are actually really, really painful. I've had my labret done. I don't know if you can see the scar, but I had that done. That was the most painless piercing I ever had. Like that didn't even hurt as much as piercing my ears. And I went to Walmart to get all those done. So I mean, yeah. I've had snake bites. There's a scar over here. And then I just pierced that one like a week ago. So yeah. It's very different. Like 2 weeks ago I got, was it 2 weeks ago? No, a week and a half ago. I tried to pierce this one. And I got halfway through and I was like, ow, 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 ow. Like I got to the point where, because I have scars, there's scar tissue. And I got to the point where the needle wasn't going through the scar tissue and it was hurting a lot. And I had it clamped and it still hurt. And I was like, screw it, I'm done. I don't even want it anymore. And then like 4 days later, the swelling and the irritation and everything had gone down. I was like, you know what? I got that close to having a pierced lip. I'm going all the way. Screw this crap. So I went a little bit higher. Like, I have food on my piercing. Great. I don't know if you guys can see where the scar is. It's like right there. I mean, I pierced just like literally right above it. Because I didn't want to go through that scar tissue again. And it's like right on top of the first scar. So it's like, I can show you right here, like, here's the scar. Imagine it being between the scar and where my lip starts. So like that's where the needle went through. And like there's hardly any swelling. I mean, there's a little bit there, like right in here. But it's not infected or anything like that. I use sterile needles. When I actually do the video to show you guys what I did, I will link the kit and how much it cost and everything in the description box. And you guys can decide whether or not you want to pursue that. Again, I'm not suggesting that anybody go out and do it. You know, it's not easy. It's not really fun. It's, you know, the result that I have, like the fact that I have my tongue pierced and my lip pierced, it's all well and good. You know, I'm happy with the outcome. But would I pierce my tongue again? Oh, hell no. If this had gotten infected, or if my body had rejected it, or if anything had happened to it, like, if it had gotten irritated, or, if it had just went badly in general, like worse than a tongue piercing is supposed to, it would have come out. Like, if it had given me a harder time than the first time, it would have come out, because that's what made me take my tongue ring out the first time. Was, one, I was in pain all the time, no matter how much medication. I struggled to swallow and swallowed. And on top of that, you know, and yeah, I was talking a lot, but I have been talking since I pierced this thing the first day, and I am, like, right now it is virtually pain-free, and it's been a week. After 1 week the last time, I saw a Subway sandwich. I said, screw this crap. I took it out, and I ate my sandwich because I was tired of dealing with it. And had this gone worse than that time, it would have come out, and I wouldn't be doing it again. But it's gone far, far better. I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. I just want a smaller bar. That's all I want. Yeah. If you do pierce your tongue, and this video is supposed to be about the aftercare and everything, and I've kind of gotten a little bit off topic and a little bit on a tangent, but I want to make sure I cover all of the bases as far as, you know, I don't condone people doing this to themselves. Like, you are inflicting a lot of pain. And I want to make sure that you guys understand that you have to understand the fact that this is not going to be easy if you decide to do it. You have got to get yourself mentally prepared to do something like that. And if you're going to get a piercing, then, and you don't know how long you're going to keep it, like if you are 17, let's say you're 17 and 3 months down the road you're going to turn 18 and your parents look at you and say, get a job. A month after you turn 18, you get a job. That's 4 months. Now let's say that you had a piercing right before, you know, those 3 months or whatever, before you turned 18. Then you only have 4 months altogether, because you have the 3 months where you turned 18 and the month after, and then your parents, you know, hypothetical of course, your parents say, oh, get a job. You have 4 months with a piercing. Do you really want to continue to spend 30 and 35 and 50 and 70 and however much a piercing costs in your town? Do you want to continue to spend that amount of money on a piercing when you don't know how long you're going to have it? I didn't. I spent 50 on these, 30 for that, and 30 for that when I first got them done. And I've had my snake bites done twice. Both times paid for. That's $160 that's gone. That I pretty much wasted because I don't have half of the piercings anymore. So I decided, you know, I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm going to get a kit and I'm going to do it myself because I don't know how long I'm going to have them. Hopefully for a while. But I don't know. And I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a piercing. I mean, I'm not going to have it my entire life, but I want to have it at least longer than a year. You know, I had my record for my tongue ring the last time was a week. Come on. And, you know, as far as my snake bites go, I think the longest I've had them was like 5 months. I had that almost a year before I took it out. And so, you know, it's all about principle. But as far as aftercare, because I'm getting off topic again, as far as aftercare, you know, I made the mistake of rinsing with mouthwash every time. And what can happen, and I don't know, I really don't want to stick my tongue out and show you guys this, but what can happen, if I still have it up there, is your tongue will turn white. Like that. And that's from using mouthwash too often. They say you use mouthwash every time you eat, drink, or smoke. Every time you eat, they're assuming that you're going to eat 3 times a day, and that's it. Okay? They're also assuming that you're going to be smart and drink a lot of water. The more water you drink, you know, if you eat 3 times a day and you drink water, then the only times that you should be rinsing your mouth out with mouthwash is those 3 times after you finish eating. You don't have to rinse your mouth out with mouthwash after you drink water, because water's not going to do anything to your mouth. Another thing is you do not want to use mouthwash that has alcohol in it, as well as you don't want to use it at its full strength. So what you're going to do is you're going to have, you know, the lid, you're going to fill it up a quarter of the way with mouthwash. Non-alcohol, like no alcohol in it. And I think there's something like Crest Pro Health or Pro Care or something like that. It has no alcohol in it, and it doesn't sting, burn, or anything. Like, it's really good. But you fill it up a quarter of the way, and then you fill the rest of it with water. Stir it up, and you rinse with that. What I did was, you know, I was drinking sweet tea. I was drinking, it's a Bolthouse Farm. You're not supposed to really drink dairy. There's hardly any dairy in it. It is a protein shake. It's by Bolthouse Farms. It's called Mocha Cappuccino. I was drinking that. I was eating, you know, cheeseburgers. I was eating like cookies and stuff, like my 3rd and 4th day. And for the first 3 weeks, this is the care you're supposed to do with the mouthwash or warm salt water. I don't like salt. I really, really, really hate the taste of salt, so I stuck with the mouthwash. Well, aren't I glad I have water? But I stuck with the mouthwash. Now, I had, because I wasn't being smart and drinking water from the beginning, I had to rinse my mouth out probably about 7 times a day for the first 2 days. And I realized that, you know, that white stuff was not going anywhere. So I started doing research. I started looking up why. You know, how long should it last? Why is it there? What's going on? And another thing you'll notice is sometimes you'll get a little white piece like this. Like that. What that is your tongue is trying to form a scab around the barbell to heal, and because your mouth is always moist, it will never get hard like a scab on your knee or anything like that. It won't, you know, crust and fall off or anything like that. So sometimes you'll have a little bit of a white film or a little bit of a white bump, like it's scar tissue. And mine went away. I had a little bit of a white bump. It didn't look like a boil or anything. What it looked like I had took the needle and gone under it and then went down. Like, it looked like a piece of my tongue had kind of flipped up. And that went away after like the 3rd or 4th day. So, you know, there was no need to be worried about it. If it had stuck around, I probably would have been concerned. But it's gone. After, you know, and I did a lot of research before and after I pierced my tongue. Like, what to expect after, type of aftercare, like all different kinds. Because different people recommend different things. They're typically all along the same line. You know, if you drink a lot of water, you don't really have to use a lot of mouthwash. If you're you know, eating a lot during the day, alternate between mouthwash and salt water. If you don't want to have that white film, like, it's gonna be there because it's almost like your tongue is in shock. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, something punctured me, I have to heal. And it's almost in a panic of, how do I heal? How do I heal? How do I heal? And it's, you know, your white blood cells are going crazy. They're like, oh my god, heal, 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 heal. Because your tongue is not supposed to have anything in it. You're not typically supposed to wound yourself on purpose. And that's what it is. It's a wound. How does a wound heal? Over time. And you have to take care of it. And so your tongue is going to turn white regardless, but you can minimize the amount of time that it stays that way if you are careful about the mouthwash and the salt water and what you eat. If you eat more dairy, it's, you know, you're going to have a thick film in your mouth. And for the first 3 days, you're going to drool when you sleep. And your spit is going to be either very thick or very thin. So, as well as, you want to make sure that you wash your hands. I checked every day, like periodically through the day, to make sure that the balls on my bar weren't going anywhere. And they're gotten to a point now where they ain't coming off. Like, it's probably going to hurt when I go to take it out because I've got them on there so tight. But I wanted to ensure that if my tongue was moving around in my mouth, that, you know, while I'm sleeping, I'm not going to swallow one of these things. Or, you know, inadvertently choke on it. Wow. Meanwhile, I'm getting low on water. Also, you know, ibuprofen is great for a pain reliever. Don't take any more than 2 based on your body weight. I'm overweight by like 20 pounds. I'm 150. So, and I'm also on prescribed medication. And because of that, I can only take 2 every 4 hours. So that's what I did. For the first 2 days, I was popping them on around the clock. After the second or third day, I was taking them as I needed them. Still only 2 per dose. Maybe 3, maybe 4 times a day. Now it's down to about twice a day. Right before bed, I have to take it right before bed. And I have to take it right when I get up first thing in the morning, sometimes after I eat a meal. Depending on what I'm eating. Like if it's something hard or crunchy or something I think is going to agitate it or aggravate it, I'll go ahead and take an ibuprofen or a dose of ibuprofen beforehand to keep that from happening. Let's see. I really want, well, 1, because I'm getting low on water, and 2, because I can't think of anything else. I'm going to end the video here, but if you guys have questions, comments, you know, especially if you have questions about, you know, what to expect that I haven't answered that you have questions about, or, you know, what was I thinking beforehand, or, you know, things that you might want me to elaborate on, leave it in the comment section and I will get to them as soon as I can. Depending on how many people say the same thing, I may just end up making a video explaining it later on. Hopefully after I get the smaller bar, because I hate talking like this. But, and you will talk funny if you get your tongue pierced. But, if there's, you know, just random questions from like 1 or 2 people and they're different, I'll just reply to your comment, or I'll send you a message. But if I have, lots and lots of people saying, oh, well, this, and this, and it's all the same thing, then I'll probably just make a video response to the questions I'm asked. But in the meantime, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and I'm going to be spending it with my sweetheart. And I hope you guys spend it with yours, and have a good one.